fine. I'll start. I don't even know if actually the audio levels are okay.
They're always not good anyway, so what does it matter?
It does, of course, it matters.
Welcome to the video.
Tyler's favourite series. Don't you dare be a nuisance.
I'm so cheery right now. I love dev Q&A videos. They're a mixed bag.
What the fuck?
Because as they put it in a dev stream I watched recently, they were thinking they should do like shots for the anniversary stream, for like every time someone asks for like the same thing over and over again.
We should do that as well.
Yeah, no, I'll die. And that's what it feels like. It feels like my soul takes a shot every time we see, I don't know, some stupid bullshit.
Yeah, anyway, so basically, it's been 4 months since we did one of these, and I'm not going to lay... Actually, the blame mainly lies on us. Mainly. We could have done one of these sooner. But obviously, it takes some time for them to fill up, and that's not anything to do with us. We still don't really know who the person is who puts this together, but we're very, very thankful that they even exist. And I think it would be appropriate, now that some time has passed since the last one, to kind of basically, as per usual, with literally every time that we like do something that isn't the podcast, explain the point of the video. Which in this case I think is all this stuff basically comes from the dev streams that Ghost Ship does most Thursdays and Fridays. The problem is a lot of stuff gets, not only does a lot of stuff get lost in translation, they're also not, the ultimate authority on the game anyway. And so I think where this series generates value is, first of all, to expose people to this. I think it's a very interesting article to look at from time to time, but also maybe to help people understand what's actually being said a little bit more with our combined knowledge and understanding of Ghost Ship Games and their employees. That might be a little bit better than the average person's. So we are, at least, I think we are, I'm very confident in saying we are at least a little bit better equipped than most people to comprehend what you're currently looking at. And so we are here to comprehend it for you. The only reason I was a bit annoyed at starting so abruptly, I was going to ask if we should actually do some kind of actual alternating readout, or, I don't know, someone reads the question, someone reads the answers. It was always just me, but can you even read it? You can, right? All right. Maybe you can do the suggestions then. It's shorter.
Yeah.
And I can just guide you to it. So this is the September one. This is September 2023. Okay. So it is actually from 4 months ago. And I think that's kind of weird, obviously, but that is where we're at. And I think the interesting thing about that is a lot of the stuff that's said even this long ago, though, that is something that we're going to probably see, especially in the next one. We're not doing October in this video, but it's actually not completed yet, so we'll have to wait for that. But we actually do need to finish up with August a little bit. And this is why we are going to be quick if we need to be quick. We're allowed to elaborate if we want, is my opinion, but we also don't need to elaborate if we don't care about the question. That's sort of my position. For example...
Yeah.
Tidy's supposed to read it.
Oh, you want me? Yeah, me read it. Journey of the Prospector on Spotify.
And they're not sure if it's even planned. Now, that's the kind of response that we like to see. We get a lot of these. We might tend to ignore these. And by the way, it's also not on Spotify still. And I don't see why it wouldn't be, but it kind of just isn't there. It kind of just isn't. So...
It took what, 3 years, 4 years to put the old stuff on Spotify? I mean, I think don't expect it to be on there for a while.
I reckon it's something to do with them wishing it could be a part of the just of the game, like part of either volume 1 or 2. But I think that it's sort of passed. And what they should do is add like not a volume 3, but a new like album that has that in it, and also like the arcade machine tracks. That should be a thing. I think that would be nice. That would be pretty cool.
And there's actually there's something coming up which I imagine might give them a reason to revisit it. A certain new game is coming out this year, which I would imagine will have a new soundtrack.
Well, the thing is, so why would that? What would that mean for Journey to Prospector though? Because we don't, they're not inherently reusing Deep Rock's soundtrack. I mean, they should.
While they're doing if while they're adding that soundtrack to Spotify, if they do that, they remember or think about adding Journey to Prospector and just kind of add it as its own single thing, or they just kind of lump it in with that thing as just a kind of bonus piece, or Journey of the Prospector could be in roll call. Any of those are options. But I think it's just worth, that I think, roll call will have a soundtrack. So
yeah, I think they've already said it's going to have its own soundtrack, which is correct because Survivor doesn't, for example. But roll call is going to be from the ground up, a new game by Ghost Ship, and I think that's just correct. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have the same guy, same composer. We know they went with the same sound designer. That's already changed, but I think hearing a fresh, brand new DRG soundtrack is something that's going to be pretty cool. But that's already spent too long on that one. So good going, us, and apologies to everyone else. Okay, I love the wording of this one. Great.
It's gone blurry.
Oh,
I think I can figure it out though. Something to do with the perk something.
Yeah, it's something to do with no, because it's the suggestion is asking for something to do with 200 perk points left over.
Right.
I think about this is August, by the way, and I think this is why the response is what it is. Would be great if there was something, but they've got bigger fish to fry. I think at the time that's just referring to the expansion that they were making. I think now when it comes to DRG, perks is one of the fish that they are considering frying. We will actually come to know that I think from this month, from September, from the September one, there might be the one in there about how perk rework is perk overhaul is one of the things they're considering for season 5. Either way, I do think that this is because Roku is its own. I think they were literally talking about Roku when they say they got bigger fish to fry, genuinely, and now it's its own game. It's sort of changed what's the priority for Deep Rock specifically. Completely.
So much has changed from when they were saying all this stuff.
I know. That's why we've got to be. Yeah, that's why we've got to be quick. I mean, is it still blurry?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm going to be a quick little nipper. There you go.
It's pronounced Gniffer.
All right, look at this. What's that? What does that say? What does that say?
Hold on. I had to make it big again.
Suggestion.
Tame a flying glyphid.
There are no flying glyphids. Also, tame one would be like trying to tame a wasp. Yeah, there are no flying glyphids. That's it.
Yeah, that person clearly has no idea what they're talking about.
I mean, they do mean. I assume they do mean Ractara, but. And I think that could be a thing. I do think it could be a thing because of the patrol bot thing. Basically, you just have it. It would just have to die over time, unfortunately. But I think there's still a way to do that. It just depends on whether or not they want to. I don't think it's a question of whether or not it's doable. What does this say, Tyler? What's this suggestion?
The DRG movie.
And their response is, we're not here to make up responses for them. We're going to go with what they said. This has become one of the recurring requests on streams. Okay, great. That doesn't tell us anything.
A lot of people are asking for a movie. That's all it really says.
Yeah.
Which is not that surprising.
Not going to happen.
But it's not.
Unless Warner Bros. Buys the rights and then Tom Cruise makes the Deep Rock Galactic movie.
Would you want Tom Cruise to be a Deep Rock Galactic movie?
No. Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay. Suggestion.
SOS Flare to ask other people to join and help out.
Aaron likes this idea. Actually, I just realized what he's asking for. So that's is that like a server list thing? Where it would flag up. You can put out or it would even, maybe they could make it a bit more immersive than that. I don't know, but there would be something where you could you could send out a signal Like, basically, basically saying join me. That's basically what it is. But it's like a cool, like immersive, like SOS thing. That's actually a cool idea.
On the server menu, the server would have like a little marker next to it saying like needs help or something like that, like next to it. Which
that would get me to play multiplayer. That would get me to...
Yeah, because you'd feel like you're like helping people then.
I think it would be pretty cool. It shouldn't like benefit you, but you could even get maybe some kind of little like counter, like how helpful you are or something. I don't know, but you probably shouldn't get like extra stuff for it, like extra credits or XP.
I don't know, maybe you could, because it would even like. I mean, I don't think the game needs it, but like there is an argument for it. In that like you would then incentivize like people joining like even more. It doesn't have to be much. It could be like, I don't know, 100 credit like SOS response bonus, right? Like something like that at the end of the mission. But I also think that like generally players do that kind of stuff anyway. Like I feel like a lot of players would just help everyone constantly with the SOS thing. Don't really need incentivization.
SOS.
That would be. Don't blame Aaron for liking it.
I blame Aaron. I didn't even know he was on board that early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suggestion.
Third person view. They decided.
Oh, I guess Tyler's reading the response as well. I guess.
They decided very early on that it's off the table. Too much work fighting with clipping and weird camera angles in procedural caves.
Yeah, but
good.
The third person. Well, the third person of when you're downed and you're like looking at people, it kind of works. I mean, first of all, they're right. It's a first-person shooter, and it would just be something that's like just creates an unnecessary amount of like work in terms of like just tweaking it and making sure it works consistently. But in Skyrim, how like the third-person camera like kind of pushes itself around, like based on where you are. Like it doesn't clip into things. Your view gets closer to the character, but it's like I don't know. DRG doesn't need it. It's a first-person shooter, like the only games that really have like ultra like changeable point of views is like RPGs and stuff, kind of, or things that just shooters don't tend to have it. Shooters are either one or the other, really, or even top down actually, which I guess is technically third person. I don't know. All right. Okay, I'll just do this. Suggestion: trade brewing ingredients. Not going to happen.
Let's go.
All right, whatever. I mean, I wish I could buy Tyler's barley bulbs, but I can't.
No, you'd never get them. And I don't want that to be a thing either, because it would devalue all the ones that I'm hoarding.
Also, if they introduce any kind of trading, it would immediately like really fuck with the entire community, because suddenly it'd be like, why can't we trade overclocks? And then
I think the
shit gets really awkward.
Is like the hold on, no, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. That's it. Really high players will literally just give like their new friends like 1 million credits, and then like completely fuck with the flow of the game, just straight up.
Yeah, and you might ask, oh, aren't there games that do that like anyway, and like how do they handle it? And I'll say, yeah, there are. Borderlands 2, you can trade, you can just play as like a high level character and give your friend millions of credits and ruin the game.
Yep.
So, it happens, and it doesn't work. It happens. It's a cool one. Was wrestling themed victory moves, and it would be cool. It would be cool. I don't know what you would actually do, because like, what would you do it with? You wrestle someone else? Like, what are you wrestling? But still,
I think it's more, I don't know, like the wrestling kind of like coming out of the thing like at the beginning. You know what I mean? Where they do those funny dance moves or whatever. I don't know. I could see it and like it.
Get a wrestling ring. Well, like the Reclaimers would have Are they Reclaimers? Fuck! You fucked with me so hard on what they're actually called. The Dwarven Reclaimers. They would have a wrestling ring, I reckon. This is a great suggestion. Fix server connection issues. They still need more data to figure out why they're happening. Is a weird problem, and that is a very self-explanatory one. By the way, that's an example of one where we really can't have any input. Not even just because it's boring, but also because that's probably all you need to know about it. So, yeah, exactly. I think this one is. I think the response is to one half of this. The suggestion is new missions and more endgame content, which they say no plans currently. If they make content, it's likely to be aimed at everyone, not just endgame players. So that's responding to the endgame part, which is an old principle of theirs, which is not exactly being shed, but it's also, I don't know, what they're doing is kind of working, I think. But the missions thing, obviously, right now, there is going to be a new mission in season 5. That's what I kind of know. That's what they're currently doing. But they're still like not 100%, which I think is bad. But yeah, that's the new missions part. The end game thing, that's sort of just a reiteration of something that we kind of already know. So yeah, Ola, you would.
Crossover with Starfield.
Doubtful. Doubtful. Yeah, it is doubtful. I mean, what would? Yeah, they don't do crossovers.
It'd be a very impressive downgrade of Deep Rock. Not many crossovers would make like games worse, but that
ain't nobody crossing over with Starfield.
No.
All right.
Probably too.
All right, okay. This is one that we need to blitz through. Actually, in normal circumstances, if like the last episode of this wasn't too long ago, I probably would have just completely ignored this one but I feel like maybe it's okay to go over. Hazard 6. They're not going to make new hazards. A very generous estimate is that no more than 5% of players would play them. Exactly. Also, basically, my position on hazards though is that Hazard 5 can be really easy sometimes, like genuinely, but also batshit insane at other times. Which, in my opinion, is the main justification actually for Hazard 6. In that, I feel like people want the game to be. Some people want the game to be a lot harder at its easiest. Is what I mean. Like Hazard 5 can still be really hard, but sometimes it's also really easy. At the same time, they're also right that barely anyone will play it, and even then, one half of their player base at least exists on PC where you can mod that into the game. So I think it's fine the way it is. I want to see more interesting difficulty things, related things, in terms of warnings and whatnot. But apart from that, Hazard 6, not going to happen. Stow it. All right. We love this one, don't we? This is a classic. A good classic.
Quality of life mods to the game. And then they don't intentionally look for mods to add. As for the crosshair heat UI for the minigun, the designers don't like it, so no deal.
That's the same the Drac one as well, where it's like a ring around the crosshair for the heat, and they don't like it.
That's like the main one people want. Like when they ask for that stuff, that's normally what they refer to. And I assume that's why they mentioned it. That person probably then followed it up in a comment or so on. Right.
You know what I'm going to say? Because last time we did one of these, I didn't know this was a mod. Infinite Promotions. It's a mod, and it exists, and it's perfect the way. It's not perfect, but it's like, you know, it's just exactly what it needs to be. And I do feel like it's been a while since, unless we just haven't noticed it. I do feel like it's been a while since they actually have done one of these. And I know that's because, you know, they need to see something that they think should be added to the game, but I feel like it's still been a while. Unless they've done one, then we haven't like pointed out that it was a mod. We don't know. Okay. Ignore. Just ignore. I'm not going to. I apologize if you are new, but we're not. You know. Add crossplay. Technically possible, but not feasible. They don't have the resources to properly maintain crossplay. There you go. That's the whole thing. Really don't need to do much more on that. Yeah, would be cool, but fucking hell, is it not worth the trouble? And it's not their fault that it's not worth the trouble either. I want to point that out. I think it just has a lot to do with maintaining a game across multiple platforms simultaneously. It'll make the process for everything just much slower and more tedious for them. And that's the long and short of it. Okay.
very long.
Suggestion: change the name of the tame Beetle. Why would you? Why this word? Why the word Beetle? No, Steve is always Steve. It's like the Witcher always calling his horse Roach. Sure, but I don't know. I just disagree. I think we should be able to name him. To be honest, I know Steve has kind of become like, Steve. He's Steve, but it's also like there's like 3 different Steves. There can be 4 at once because everyone can use the perk. It's like it's not just Steve. There's loads of Steves. It's really weird. Maybe there should be a different name for the 3 different ones. Maybe. But something that we can customize the name of is still something I'd like to see in some capacity. Perhaps your title. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you.
Recover other parts of the Retta, proving once and for all that no one's ever going to be happy. You can't
It's like
satiate people.
it really is a thing that I've just noticed. I mean, I've kind of noticed it for a while now, but just the fact that Deep Rock is a game that makes people want it to be everything. You know, they just want more and more out of it constantly, which is a good thing, kind of, or it's a good sign, I should say. But people just constantly just ask for things that they just don't need in Deep Rock. I mean, this isn't that exactly, but it's also just like, why do you want to? What? Why? So they're going to make it so that we'll have to drag the whole drill dozer, but only by mashing A and D. There you go. No, if you, all I'll say is, Ghost Ship. If you, I mean, obviously they're already not going to do whatever that is. But if you touch escort duty and that's all you do, I'm out. That's all you do. That's it.
Yeah.
That's no good. All right, this is a good one. See the dwarf's beard and belly in first person. They realised that early that making it look good in first person would take a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of games, probably even most games, you can't see your own model in first person, so it's nothing.
You're lucky if you get to see your own feet.
Yeah, especially with Deep Rock with the beards. Like, nah. Like that would make me like, it would be lovely because of that, but it's also just like that is such an insane additional factor of why that would be such a difficult thing to make okay. You know, just Oh, this is a great one, isn't it, Tyler?
All right. Subway
Read the whole
Surfers
thing.
playing on the screen. Yeah. Oh god. Alright, yeah. They're working on a mandatory mode where half the screen is DRG, 1/4 is Subway Surfers, and the other quarter is Family Guy Greatest Clips.
Yeah.
I think they would notice an uptick in certain players' attention spans and the length of their sessions.
Certain players.
Yes. Certain young players.
Yes. I mean, honestly, just roll through the next 3. They're all just memes. The next 2, at least.
Add sex to the game, please. Add sex to the game. They actually already added it, but the question asker doesn't know what sex looks like, so they couldn't notice. Oh man, that's not very nice.
Oh, whipped up another zinger. I assume that was Aaron. I feel like this is Aaron. I don't know why.
He's normally the one that responds with jokes and that. C4 as a traversal tool. C4 is a traversal tool. Used to send scouts to hell. It can be used to send anyone to hell, really.
Yeah, but I guess maybe we should be able to rocket jump with it in some capacity. So maybe, I don't know. Be nice. This is a great one. Although I don't consider it as much of a meme. Like literally asking for stereotypical national clothing from real world. Who knows? Probably not though. It would be tricky to make it so that it's not just racist armor. All right, I'm gonna have to do something here.
I assume this is
you would assume this comes before Rocktober Fest, because
it's due to.
I mean, that's look at that. You kidding me? You.
What all Germans wear.
Yeah, no. But basically, all I'm saying is, Go Ship, you've already done it, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost their own culture.
It's almost their own.
Yeah.
that's so racist. I don't think it is. All right. Option to remove eyebrow. Don't do it if 1,000 fans work so eyebrows will have. No, just come on. Just come on. Come on. Ah, just clean shaven eyebrows. Come on. It should be a
I don't
thing.
know. I think that kind of response sounds like something that like write that down. like, like I don't know. I think we'll see that next season pass. Hopefully, like all that blue facial hair stuff. Like they normally made silly references in that, and then next thing we know, it was added.
Yeah,
So,
I want to take my eyebrows off, and I want that to take up the entire weapon framework, replaced with the ability to remove eyebrows. Another one of the same ilk is the cosmetic option to remove shoes. Aaron is taking his suggestion to the top immediately. Also, bare feet are visible in the hospital gown. Well, that shows that it's possible. But is there any point
they
to
do
it?
have their raw dogs out.
They're raw dogs. Yeah, basically, what I would say is if it's literally zero effort, sure. If it's any effort at all, no. If it's any, because that's not what I'd want to see.
Surely,
I would much rather have like removable, I guess like maybe the entire legs, but also I think the main thing I want is like because it's already sort of they're already not halfway there, but like 33% of the way there is like interchangeable arms, like as in that's its own slot. That's what I want to see more than anything else. And I've got more to say on that, but we're not going to do a cosmetic rant in this video. So yeah. I swear I remember. Oh no, it's only because that was there for so long. Not because we've actually done it before. Lucio from Overwatch is as the fifth character. Sure, dual roller skates at heel with just what Deep Rock needs. There you go. Shut up. No, not gonna. Whatever. I don't know. It's just. Gyro Controls. DRG doesn't support it natively, and there may be an issue with Sony supplying Windows API for it. Keep asking. That's a pretty good response. I don't really even know what gyro controls are. So.
Oh, I think I do actually. I think it's where you turn your controller.
Oh.
Like the gyroscopic controller, like that stuff.
Oh, that's like that doesn't suit. That doesn't suit Deep Rock at all.
We knew had it. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't even. That it sounds like terrible.
Leave it alone.
That's like nothing. Add soundtrack to Apple Music possible. There you go. I don't care. There you go. Perk to walk on walls like the bugs. Anything that makes traversal tools redundant, it's got to be a no from them. Also, might be very disorienting. Now, this is where our expertise comes into play because you might be like, excuse me, rocket boots, and I would say, yeah, they forgot about those, but they didn't. It's just because they don't have loads of time to go into every detail of a question. And rocket boots, yes, they do render traversal tools redundant, but they also are implemented a different way, which is why. And this is a little bit of a problem, although we don't know if it's a problem because it's really just based on what they say, the guys who are on the stream. But it shows a sort of, in my opinion, a little bit of close-mindedness where they didn't really see fit to play off of the suggestion. Where I would have gone on to say something like, you could do something similar to how Jet Boots did it for this idea, you know? Like a wall climbing kit as a power-up, for example. But they're right to say that there wouldn't be a perk like that, but the truth is it doesn't have to be a perk. And that's kind of me telling Ghost Ship that, I think. Just to keep that in mind. Not saying it's actually a great idea necessarily, but for saying, you know, there's a reason that you cut rocket boots as a perk and reintroduce them as a power-up. So maybe keep that in mind.
Yeah. Alright. Rename Oktoberfest to Rocktober Fest. Addressed in the Steam post.
Which basically, what it actually says is it didn't even say, it's not saying it's renamed to it. It just said you could call it Rocktoberfest. I'm pretty sure. What? I don't see anything here. Whatever. Where were we? Look at that. ready check emote or ping. Some people at Ghost Ship Games agree that it would be a nice feature. It's not out of the question. A ready emote. I mean, I guess the question would be how you implement it. You know, like what button or how you do it would be.
Yeah.
That's the only question. And I don't know the answer. Sorry.
I mean, maybe if you rock and stone while having your traversal thingy out, maybe.
Traversal? What?
No, your pinger thinger.
Pinger finger. That's. I like
Yeah.
that. I like
You
that.
know what I mean.
No, I do. Of course, I know what you mean. But that's probably not a bad way of doing it. I think it's one of the in terms of like emotes and those kind of things and callouts. It's pretty much the only thing that the game arguably should have in that like department because their emote system is very deliberately constructed to be what it is. But this is the only thing that's sort of a little bit shaky in terms of practicality, and could be looked into. Apart from that, we don't need actual emotes or any shit like that, and they know that too. They have the same principle there. Has Vive done that? Improve mic audio, Tyler. No, no. The game uses the built-in Unreal Engine option, so it hasn't got a lot of focus. On PC, most people are talking Discord anyway. Yeah, and also we're using Pi Chat anyway. That makes me realize is this even an appropriate question to ask developers? You know, that even makes sense.
Honestly, I thought they were just asking about like their mic quality on stream when I heard that.
They might be though. That's the thing that we don't know. We don't really know. But yeah, whatever. Suggestion PvP. And there you go. That's the ultimate.
Yeah.
This is like the ultimate one of like, you know, people want DRG to be everything.
Something else.
Yeah, just to be something else. No, I still want some competitive elements. You know, give me a reason to play deep dives. Although actually, I say that I shouldn't say that because I don't like speedrunning. I hate it actually. So, all right. Yeah. So we got an intro. This is a great one here. You're gonna have to go from one down.
Right.
Tyler.
Oh, you want me? You said we.
Yeah, these are the funny ones. All right. This is
right. Speed up zip lines. I'll just No, it's a physics thing. If you go literally any faster, you'll reach a singularity and die.
Well, that's the joke response.
Okay, the zipline is quick to deploy, but slow to use and limited in angle. Without those limitations, it starts overshadowing some of the other tools. I'll be quick because I don't want to linger on it, but there is still ways of improving it within those parameters. You can still make it less inconvenient, but ultimately speeding it up is not the goal. Like you can work around those limitations to still make it better and less intolerable. But yeah,
eyebrow raise.
You go. I'm done. Harry.
No, there's another one.
This one. There's another one. Oh, you want me to do that one? New dreads. Jacob's going to the hairdresser next month. To get it. Like dreads as in dreadnought.
Sure. Deep dive exclusive bugs. Dumb fucking suggestion. No, deep dives are intended to be the same content but in a different package. Yes, but also deep dives kind of suck. What deep dive exclusive bugs? What kind of fucking lame-o you have to be to want that? Yeah.
A deep dive only lame-o.
Yeah, a deep diver. Yeah. Much like add Rammer from the board game. No plans, as it would be redundant with the shellback already in the game. We have Rammer at home. I feel like actually that part is weirdly important because it's like they know it's not the same. Like the Rammer is like a new name, a new creature to have in the family, but it's also like that's not a good reason to add an enemy to the game just because it looks different, you know. They're right, the shellback also, in my opinion, other parts of what the Rammer could be are also present in a lot of other enemies as well, like a guard or a repressor. Overall, it would be redundant. Although, interestingly enough, the Sting Tail actually came from the board game, which is kind of awkward given how, you know, hated it was given. All right, same one. Oh, look, it's right there. I didn't even. That's not why I said it. I didn't say that because it's up right above it. I guess that means we can ignore that one. Oh, fuck me, the water thing. Yeah, okay, we can ignore that. We can ignore the water thing. I hope you understand by this point. Yeah. Suggestion: full no HUD mode with all ammo counts. They're aware that some tools don't show ammo counts without HUD, and it'd be nice to change that. I agree because I've seen it a lot already of people who actually like to play HUDless, like quite a few people, and especially because the weapons, most of the weapons have ammo counters on them, which is a really cool feature as well. And
Harry, I feel like you've forgotten that I'm one of those people.
why would it matter that
No,
you're one of those people?
I don't know, but like ages ago, me and Tom turned it off as a joke, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I have a horse in this race. I would like to know a lot. Grenades as well.
The
You have no
cryo.
idea
I
how
don't
many.
know which ones though. Well, yeah. Well, how would you show grenades though?
I don't know, but figure it out.
I mean, grenades is like such a low count that you should be able to count. I think. You know, which weapons don't have it though? Cryo cannon doesn't. I know that.
It does. It does have it, Harry.
Okay, which ones don't then?
It's a bit odd, but it doesn't have a number. But I don't know. I don't use all the weapons.
I think the
All the goodest
hurricane
ones do.
doesn't, maybe, but it's like, you know, you can see the rockets.
No, I think the hurricane does. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the shard diffractor doesn't. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you could like communicate that through like the how like the light of the crystal or something. I don't know. All right, we've got two crossplay ones. We can just ignore those. That's good. Out of the way. Add slider for the shield break effect. That's a visual like effect, like slider, like to change the intensity of it. It's kind of hard to address that with so little information. The nausea could be caused by the shield break effect or some other reason. Okay, yes, but would it be really easy to implement that effect, like that option? If it is, then you might as well put it in. Even if it's just a toggle, maybe people can just toggle it off and that's like fine. Equip Doretta's head like a backpack. It's only possible to appreciate the satisfaction of seeing Doretta's glowing, expressionless eyes if you put in the labour of holding her. Yeah, I mean that's like the main. I mean, it is like a joke thing, kind of, but that is the main point of that, is for it to be a little extra challenge, like actually. Well, if you could just put it on your back, it would kind of just be stupid. So, we love this one, don't we, Tyler?
More transparency with the community. That's fair, and more frequent communication was also one of the reasons Aaron has been taking on board Ghost Games.
Are you sure?
Which, once again, this is still
the last 3 weeks. Don't tell me that much. Don't tell me that. Unfortunately, if I'm being brutally honest, but
I haven't heard much from it. But yeah, this is still like that's information they really made a point of during the stream that has yet to occur, right? So yeah. It's cool though. It's cool that they got specifically like asked for it and then mentioned it beforehand.
Yeah. All right. So okay, nerf Omen. No, if devs can beat it, so can we. The Omen is fucking awesome, but it's a bitch for new players. I can imagine, right? Like I can imagine so many new players. Yeah, but the point is, Tyler, we know how to beat it, and that's cool. But you kind of have to know how to beat it. Like I can imagine people getting decked by it on Hazard 1 if they've never played against it before. You know, like that aspect of it is the thing that should be thought of, like when they're thinking about the Omen, if they're ever going to make any changes to it. I think it's really cool that it's a thing that sort of built up a very specific meta around it, and that you need to know how to take it down. But it's also a machine event, you know. So maybe it should be more accessible. And if anything, maybe it's hard to ask this because it would be a lot of work, but making 2 separate versions of it, like a boss version and a machine event version, would be the route I would go. And the machine event version should be easier. But then again, it's like that's something about the Omen that is so cool, is that it's like a very high stakes thing. So maybe make it more rewarding. I don't know. It's really difficult to Can't get my head around.
I think the Omen is worth the wait of it being arguably one of the hardest things in the game. And I feel like that's like it's one of our main pillars, pun intended, of knowing how much better we are than back then, right? That now we can deal with an Omen, and even an Omen with heavy burster and drones with like a pretty successful success rate, right? Like that is a mark of how much better we've gotten.
Yeah,
Considering how rough the Omen is.
it's also weirdly well constructed though when you think about how it can actually like the shitty like laser cutter component, which is like you think it's like
Yeah.
you think it's nothing, but it's actually almost an anti-cheese. That's the one that actually comes into play when you like try and cheese it, and that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, when you think about like trying to get above the platform, like above the laser beams with platforms and like gunner zip lines, stuff like that, that's when the lasers come into play to pull you down essentially and tell you to no, cut it out. Like you can't be doing that. And yeah, I don't know. It is really well made, and I feel like it's well made to be hard.
It's just a tough. It's just a tough nut to crack, and I think I can see why that throws people off. It's like, why is this so much harder? But it's not harder. It's just a question of should it be as difficult as it is, because of what it is. But it's like it's like should it be a different type of event? Well, maybe not, because it being a machine event is part of the stakes of it as well. It's like you want to get what you would get from it, but it's also like you get that from much easier ones like Ebonite. But yeah, I don't know. I would say the Omen specifically is not a priority in terms of work done. So maybe we should leave it there. Maybe the Omen's a cool thing, indeed, one of the coolest things in Deep Rock. So add a shovel pickaxe. There's an option for that as a backblade. Yes, there is. And maybe that's it. But to be fair, the shovel is one of the ones that makes more sense than others to be on the front as well. I'll say that much. But maybe they should just take the reins off that completely. Fuck artistic integrity. Other melee weapons, probably not going to happen. Melee inspired weapons, however,
That's your thoughts.
Javelin grenades. That's it. I love this. Tyler, read this one.
Another boss like the Caretaker.
Go fuck yourself.
Whoa.
No current plans, but would be cool. No, it wouldn't. Well, no, it wouldn't. Okay? The Omen is another boss like the Caretaker, first of all. That's it, actually. I was about to say the Corlock too, but no, the Omen definitely is. And that's actually cool, because I wouldn't want another boss like the Caretaker taking up a mission type, right? And we already have another one in a different form. We have like a boss like that that's a mission type focus. We have one that's also a random event, and that's a good way of it being. Like, it's like, we got Dreadnoughts and we got Betsy as well. We got these mobile bosses, and they exist in different departments of the game. So it's possible to add another one, but it shouldn't be in the form of like a mission type focus. Again, that's all I'll say at the very least. I don't want a mission type focusing around a Caretaker-esque boss again, and we know that's not happening. At least not for the next mission type. Like, that is something that we really do know. That the next mission type will not be like that. Cool. So yeah. Hold on a minute, we skipped one.
Do we?
Yeah, this. New Dreadnoughts. No plans. Nobody's opposed to the idea. They're just really busy with other stuff. Plus, they can't really talk about Season 5 stuff yet. But yeah, I mean, that's a while ago. I want a new Dreadnought at some point. Also, this is one for you, Tyler. I mean, we've basically done it, but it's like, read it. Come
on. Adult Dreadnought mission type. 18 plus missions? That's not gonna happen. But there's a subreddit for that. Yeah. First of all, I have seen that subreddit. Is that why you asked me to do that?
No.
All right. Well, I have seen that subreddit. I think I showed you it and all. So Innocence Lost and all that jazz. But
That's the name of the
yeah,
quest
they
when
were
you
playing.
kill Grell of the Kind in Skyrim.
Yeah. Um, yeah, they like to play coy sometimes. This is one of those times, as you might have gathered, which doesn't mean yes, but it also doesn't mean no. I think it means that they don't want to say no. Generally, like they want people to keep thinking about the idea, or they want to think about the idea more. They tend to then play coy.
Well, to me, it's not. It's I don't think it's something that they want to build up massive expectations for because it might never happen. But they also just don't want to do it for the sake of it either. That's my
They
how
don't
I.
want to say
That's what I
hard
see.
no because they do like the idea, I imagine, but
Yeah.
it's just not that feasible at the moment.
No. No. Suggestion: new enemies like Rammer or Stalker. Okay, we've done the Rammer, but they say Stalker needs more work and might come in season 5. Yeah, we heard that a while ago, and I hope so. But I also don't want them to bust their asses making something that is like that might just be a bad idea, like trying to force it to work. It's like it is possible, but either way, they didn't throw away the Stalker. They threw away the Rockpox Trawler or the adult larvae, or whatever it was, because it was just bad. But the Stalker's something they've hung on to, and maybe there's a good reason for that. And yeah, if it is in season 5, that's good, I guess. Cool. Suggestion: barrel armor. Fight the art director about this. His promise, his problem. 6th anniversary. That's when it should. That barrel armor.
If ever, it will be an anniversary thing.
Yeah, basically.
If you had a pretty big anniversary last year.
Yeah, I find the Bosco one like pretty insulting. Pretty... Bosco barrel armor. Like, oh come on, guys. Really? Okay, new class, yellow class, never gonna happen. A second planet to mine. Sure, as soon as we finish the first one, so we should get back to work. Exactly. Yeah. Doesn't need a second planet. Season Deep Rock doesn't need a second planet, I guess. And that's it, I guess.
I mean, hell, they're making a second game, and it's still on the same planet. So
yeah,
credit where that planet's due.
Well, yeah, and I don't even think they're necessarily pushing the envelope of what what you can get out of one planet. Like, it makes perfect sense. In fact, it's actually it's like it's almost like a finally kind of thing that they're actually going more with Hoxies via road core.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not jonesing for them to move to a different planet at all. Suggestion: toggle to show keyboard/controller prompts on the HUD. It should update automatically depending on the input device, and it does. I don't know what's going on here. The prompts are there. So they might be dismissive. I'm not sure. Introduce anti-cheat. DRG probably won't ever have an anti-cheat unless it becomes a really big problem. Yeah, I mean they kind of exist. Like there are like hackers who exist who like give themselves like loads of XP and stuff like that, but it's kind of the case of there's very few of those because people don't really get anything out of that in a game like DRG. You don't really get anything out of just cheating your way up, In fact, you only lose out. So it's just very uncommon. And it's kind of
main concern is when the cheaters fuck other people over.
Yeah.
Like some people have joined games, gotten like billions of XP from like joining it, and it's like really fucked their progression. Where it would be more the credit, and they're like really upset because their game experience has essentially just been like tarnished. So that's when it's a problem, really. But luckily, they built a pretty good fan base, so that shouldn't happen too often.
Right, Tyler.
Really still up for them to bother. I
can't read anything. Take the next two.
I can't.
Take the next two.
I can't do it.
There's more musical instruments, and they hope they'll add more. Okay. But
all right.
They didn't add the they didn't add the steel drum permanently anyway. So
right now, so What's more musical instruments? There isn't any.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Suggestion: season 5 sausage expansion. Aaron can't think of a single joke to make about sausage expansion, so he's saving this question for later. Well, there you go. Whatever. Suggestion: drop the seasonal update format. They do not intend to drop the seasonal update format.
Very crystal clear, both sides.
But they do intend to modulate it, I think would be the right word. Obviously, so did this so this predated even the concept of maintenance updates, to be fair. Obviously that doesn't represent a change to the season. It represents a change to the update format, but not to, like, the fact that they're still doing seasons. That's not going away, and I think I understand why. Because if they move to non-seasonal updates again, then the game might just die. Maybe they kind of need seasons.
Once you go seasons, you never go back. That's how
Halo Infinite is going back.
Halo Infinite doesn't work. So shut up. Like it's dead. It proves my point more than it disproves it.
It's not dead.
You know
it. Option to randomize which. Shut up. Option to randomize which class to play. We could roll a 4-sided die for that.
Yeah.
Really though, who the hell would you really need to randomize that? I'll say this much though. I think randomizer maybe. Oh no, probably shouldn't actually. Probably shouldn't. Maybe should just be a complete randomizer, but actually it should. It should randomize everything, including what weapons you have, regardless of class. There you go. Even though they absolutely also should not do that, because then suddenly the requests for certain things will be really overwhelming. PvP mission type, nope. Flare upgrades. Very unlikely. The Flare UI in the equipment menu is a vestigial organ from pre 1.0 build. They'll remove it if it starts hurting a lot. I think maybe it should be. That's already happened, and it should be removed.
I like that they mention removing it. This is like the first time they brought that up. They never think about removing it, do they?
I don't know. Do they not?
No, they never bring it up. We always bring it up. We're like, if you're not going to do anything with it, fucking remove it.
That's the barrel vision guarantee.
I'm proud of them.
We'll keep going on about something until they acknowledge it. But whenever directly going at them though, it's always like really, Right. Suggestion: gun skins on traversal tools. I like the specificity of that. They kind of want to make paint jobs for traversal tools happen, but it's never been high enough on the priority list to get done. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I respect the opinion that they would only do paint jobs, that they wouldn't make frameworks for them. I understand that. I wish it wasn't the case, but I understand how much work that is. Yeah, I do think this should happen, but maybe it is as simple as I also agree that it's not essential either. It's kind of not, really. I kind of wish it was, because then it would happen. But I can't disagree with them that it's not like a high priority thing. So thumbs up.
It's still one of those things. Every time they say it's not a high priority, it really begs the question: then what is?
Yeah, but I feel like that's changed a little bit.
Never really heard them say what is a high priority.
All right, we've never heard them say what is high priority, but I guess we've heard them mention things that we would say are high priority that they are considering doing or even are doing.
Yeah. It's often when they don't say it's like not high priority or that kind of thing. Like, oh, they actually give a shit about this.
Yeah.
But
okay, this is a brilliant suggestion. Stalagmite biome. All right, stalagmite sound like a pretty generic formation. Not sure how to make a biome out of. I agree. I agree. Although, so stalagmites are the ones that come up out of the ground. There's not many of those, but that's because they'd be fucking annoying to deal with. So, you know, there goes your suggestion. Another pool to earn cosmetics like cargo crates. No plans, and there probably never will be, because they did a lot of that for a while, and it kind of feels like most of those, not most of those things, but a lot of those things probably wouldn't exist if they had done seasons from earlier on, you know? But I think they're actually probably quite grateful that they do exist as well, as like that's somewhere where all the seasonal content can go, basically. And I think that just kind of works. So yeah, dick. Right, suggestion: 50 mission long deep dives. Sounds like something Mission Content Randomizer can do. The mod, an endless sequence of missions was actually one of the options when they were designing deep dives. Really? Oh wait, that's rogue core. Sorry. That's rogue. I mean, it's not, because that's not what rogue core. That's not what a roguelite actually is. Not infinite, but it might be. And there's a higher chance of there being an endless mode in rogue core than in DRG. Actually, maybe. Possibly.
Maybe, yeah. It depends. Roguelites aren't often infinite, as in basically never. Like they basically always have an end.
Yeah. Suggestion: sell the PlayStation Special Edition goodies without the game. Very likely not. Otherwise, it wouldn't be special and would just be Deep Rock Galactic the edition. What? Did they understand the question, or am I stupid?
It feels like they might have missed the point. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what's in it. Actually, no, I kind of do. It's like the vinyls, aren't there? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind. That's not actually the kind of thing that we tend to focus on. Tyler, can you read this?
Nope. I see it's short.
Yeah, it's
new
suggestion. New crap. Response: always nothing but crap.
What do we know we're getting from?
Suggestion: nail gun for engineer. How about for driller? No plans, but would be cool. Thanks. Okay, no, we're not going to talk. No, we're not going to talk about new weapons in the September 2023 Dev Q&A. Right. Add Pepsi. No Pepsi. Not yet.
Not yet.
Suggestion: fully grown dreadnought. Response: it looks like one of those little white dogs that always has shit in its eyes. They can't render that without upping the game's rating. What the fuck? Okay. And that's what we call a joke. Suggestion: enemies larger than the bulk detonator. Response: creatures larger than that start looking very weird when traversing and taking the same angle as the ground. Yes, and that's why the only one that's bigger than it is one that doesn't move, because the caretaker, I think, is definitely bigger than the bulk detonator. I'd love to see some kind of absolute monstrosity that's like, you know, the entire cave is the enemy, something like that. But yeah, I guess like a bulk detonator is probably like the limit, I guess. But then again, there's also an elite bulk detonator. That's bigger. So it already exists. All right, there's the rammer's back. Suggestion: a bug that creates a black hole around it. And they did prototype a flare-eating creature at some point, but it didn't make it into the game for one reason or another. Shame. But yeah, so basically what that means is that that's probably just not going to happen. Like, that might just be a dead idea, you know? I don't know if that is how it goes. Like, you know, they cut something in development and that means it's probably not going to happen because the idea is kind of fucked. But it might mean that, you know, or it might be a case of that where the enemy was just like, this is just too, this isn't going to really work out, so let's just, you know, say no to it. It's like, it's something that we can, now that we've tried it and know that it doesn't work, it's something that we can actually put off the table forever. That's what that might be. Can't say for certain. All right, here's a cool one. Suggestion: armor that isn't part of a DLC. Good idea. There might be some designs for that in the works.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Love it. Bring on the Mark 6. All right, yeah, class. This is basic suggestion. UI changes. No plans, but they've talked about some wardrobe UI improvements many times. Sort or search or group. Yeah, next update, I think. That's when that should happen, I imagine. Or might happen. Maybe. Who knows? Makes sense for a non-season update. Suggestion: virtual reality deep rock drinking simulator. We can already do that at our local bar, and the only piece of technology we need for that is a liver dialysis machine. These guys think they're comedians, don't they?
Yeah.
Suggestion: some sort of shooting range. Not happening due to tech reasons, and that's all we'll say on the matter. Basically, it would be like loading into a mission anyway. That's the explanation. Okay. Suggestion: a season focused on balance changes and quality of life. Those things are likely to always be packaged alongside content. Many players would not consider it a real season without new content. And that's correct. And that's why it's good that we have updates that aren't seasons as well. Because they're right about that. Players, most people would not understand a season that doesn't have, like, tangible content in it. It sucks, but they're right. And the fact that we have updates that can focus on that kind of thing now is something to relish in, I would say. Suggestion: DRG Lego. There's a fan-made set on Lego Ideas. It's pretty popular. Keep voting on it. There you go. Actually, so hold on. Is Lego Ideas like a thing where like people vote to make a Lego set official? Something.
Yeah, they make a Lego and then they put it to the website, and I think if it gets like 1,000 or 10,000, something like that, like I don't know, Lego thumbs up, Lego will have a look at it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was going to say 1,000 sounds pretty low, but I mean, actually, even then, just to look at it, I'd say 1,000 is still pretty low.
Yeah.
All right, I think someone asked about Visible Dwarf Feet. We've done that. Twitch drops is something that we don't give a fucking shit about, but they said they talked about it, but there isn't about looking in-game items behind Twitch drops like that. Yeah, and I think why they talked about it, I mean, they talked about it a while ago. I mean, I don't know. I thought they should be saying no to that. Whatever. Suggestion: engine class. Engine class. They were working on a steam locomotive engine, but an unfortunate boiler explosion put a stop to that. Well, there you go. Okay, so suggestion: aquatic biome with its own glyphid species. Okay, sounds cool, but it's too much of a technical undertaking. If they're talking about a water biome, which they're not necessarily, an aquatic themed biome, that's a cool idea. Yeah, we've got 2 of them. We've got 3 of them actually already. So calm down. As in, they might not be asking for that, but I would say if anyone sort of tries to like spin the other water things, like, oh, but could we at least get like a water themed biome? There's 3 of them already. Okay. All right. Suggestion: new biomes. They don't know if it's slated for the next update, and if they knew, they wouldn't tell. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Very helpful. Candy biome. That would be fun. If there's someone out there who's a skilled modder and also employed, make that. Like an edible biome could be like kind of fun. Like made of cake. But it's like, like a natural cake. The big cooked, giant cooked loot bug. All right. Crossplay question, firing range question. Yeah. New soundtrack. No plans. There's already a ton of mods for alternate soundtracks. Yeah. I mean, DRG is not going to get any more dedicated music. I'll say that much. So yeah. All right. The meat. I'll have some meat. Can you read these?
More perks. They agree the perk system is weird in some spots and is on their to-do list, which I guess is their, priorities. That they're working on other stuff right now, so clearly not the top of their priorities.
Which was Rogue Core, by the way. Once again, I think at this time.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of the events that's upcoming. I'm not sure. Well, yeah. I mean, the perk thing's always been on there to do this, but this is something where I'm jumping ahead a little bit to. I think something that's mainly in the October stuff is like it's something that was on the table for season 5, and we don't know if it's made it into like being in season 5 yet. We don't know, but it's like what we do know is they've been considering it more than they usually have been, more than they used to, which is an improvement. I'll say that much. Basically, I would say it probably is going to happen like by season 6, like almost definitely. But I think it's just a wait and see. But they're clearly warming to it in terms of actually doing it. I would say. So that's great. Same with okay, maybe not with new weapons. I mean, a little bit with new weapons, more than I thought. Actually, they're warming to new weapons more than I thought they would be. So that's just a suggestion for new weapons, which is a really casual one. Maybe at some point in the future, they have some overclocks coming up, but they've been coming up for a few seasons by now. But we've talked about this already, like knowing that there's going to be some new overclocks in season 5. I think this was the first mention of it though, and that's kind of that actually, because like I said, we've already kind of it gets later on gets established that we're getting like the specifications of that, and that it's a season 5 thing, like, you know, 1 per primary weapon, those things that we know now. And so this is kind of like that's already like I've already elaborated on this response by saying all that, so that's kind of all we need to do, I think. Our work here is done. 4th Dreadnought, yeah, they're going to be implementing one of those white dogs with crusty shit in its eyes. There you go.
I like that meme.
Yeah, they do. All right. Suggestion: Plague Doctor with the hat inheriting paint job color. They could pester one of their artists about it, although if the item doesn't already do that, it might be intentional. Well, it fucking shouldn't be. That's dumb, and it will always be dumb. Yeah.
Like,
also, if you want to if you want to really, you know, do something, do things the way they should be done. By the way, maybe headgear paint jobs should be their own slot as well. And then you could also choose default, and that would be like the non-paint job version, and it wouldn't interfere. Basically, this is something that I think needs to be addressed genuinely. Not in a dire sense, but it's like, you know, in terms of something that's valuable for them to do with their time. I actually do think this is kind of up there, especially in the realm of miscellaneous changes, because frankly, the non-uniform items, forced color items, are a blight upon this game's like what is actually a really good customization system and just general set of cosmetics. They are a fucking plague, literally in this case. A blight.
Blight works pretty well.
Yeah, blight's a good word. People didn't know there was Guerrero used to have a different final boss called Okram, and it dropped Souls of Blight. There you go.
That was a weird thing to say.
Suggestion: new biome, less complex than the last ones. If the caves are too complex, we may like a simpler game where blocks have to be put through the right-sized holes and work up from. That's rude. That's rude. That's rude.
Very rude. Well, in fairness, I think he deserved it. Shut up.
But yeah, I think this last thing on that is they are looking at new biomes, and I think they will be for a while. And I think we're probably going to get one in season 6, not season 5. Yeah. That's my position on biomes, and that's the last one for September, which means we are done. And I'm going to scroll down so you can't see any of October.
All right.
There you go.
Are they like halfway through October then?
A bit more than halfway, but it's still not done yet. And we were never going to do 2 in 1. So yeah, there you go. That's all the stuff. I would say after having done this, this one was a more obligatory one. I think October's going to be quite a bit better, and also the next ones after that. Although they'll be starting to get into the range of a lot of the things that they're talking about are coming to fruition by the time that sort of like those entries exist on this page. But still, yeah, we kind of need to get this one out of the way. The October one will be sooner than Tyler likes, I think. Either way, we're done here. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not quite right. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to stay on top of everything to do with Deep Rock and Road Core and see more of this specifically, first of all, you could click the link in the description to just look at the page for yourself, but you can also click notification bell. I recommend you do the second thing. There's also a third, more sinister thing, but I'm not going to tell you what that is.
Is that what dev streams?
Oh yeah, yes it is actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Often Thursday, Fridays. I think we're done.
I think we are.
Bye.
Yeah, wait, calm down, calm down.
Bye. Bye. See ya. Ta-ta.
What an idiot.